So, I need you to do me a favor before we start, please. Don't listen to this episode like you're gathering inspiration. Listen like you're gathering evidence. Because somewhere in the last year, a version of you got quieter, sharper, and done with being misunderstood. And she didn't disappear. She just stopped performing for people who never planned to see her clearly anyway. Big inhale. Okay, now we can begin. So, have you ever noticed how the most exhausted people are the most capable? Not the weak ones, the ones everyone leans on. The ones who get called strong like it's their legal name. I spent a long time wearing strength like an armor until I realized it wasn't armor at all. It was a uniform. It told people what to expect from me. It told me what not to feel. It kept me reliable, but it kept me rigid. And rigidity is just fear holding its breath. So the question became, if I put the armor down, do I still get to keep the strength? Or was the armor the point all along? Let me just speak about a moment I didn't plan on sharing. I was sitting in my car, hands at 10 and 2 like I was driving somewhere important, but the car was parked. Engine off. Life humming too loud anyway, and I looked up and said, screamed it out loud, actually. I can't keep doing all of this. It wasn't poetic, not noble, just true. And the weird thing, the sky didn't crack open. No seraphim descended like, girl, same, It was quiet. The kind of quiet that means something heard you. That moment was the start of my spiritual journey. Sure, but not glittery. It was the destructive kind. The kind that says you don't get to lie to yourself anymore. So here it is, clean and unfiltered. 1, you are not tired because you're doing too much. Honey, you're tired because you're doing too much for far too long without being witnessed. And 2, people didn't drain you. You drained you trying not to be an inconvenience. You tried not to inconvenience them with your humanity. Silence and let that land. Softening doesn't mean collapsing, him. It just means updating your operating system. Think of it like this. The old OS ran on hypervigilance, rescue mode, emotional suppression, and people-pleasing patches. It kept crashing, but it also worked enough so you never reinstalled it, The new OS, it runs on self-permission, nervous system governance, and boundaries that don't need explaining, emotional honesty that doesn't need defending. Softness isn't a downgrade, it's bandwidth you reclaimed. And if you're listening thinking, okay, but I don't know how to do that, good. That means you're honest. I didn't know either. I'm still learning in public. But here's what I do know. You start by letting your body finish its sentences, not your mind, your body. The body never says for the plot. It says for survival, for truth, and for peace. So here are 3 ways to begin the soften without falling apart era. 1, micro boundary practices. Just say one small no today that protects your energy and doesn't require a press release. 2, maybe some somatic honesty. Before you explain anything emotional, check your body. If it feels like constriction, it's not time to talk yet. Regulate, then narrate. 3, witness reclamation. Talk to people who can hold eye contact with your truth. Or talk to the void. Journal, podcast, prayer, whatever. Just stop speaking to the people who need you filtered to digest you. The more you become yourself, the fewer people you lose, and the more the right ones recognize you like they've been waiting. So, I soften with intention, not surrender. I am strength without a uniform, and I am becoming evidence. Thanks for listening, luminous ones.